do page 18 together. It says, Haley and Horatio visit some waterfalls, in Yosemite National Park. I can't read what it says. What does it say? Bridal Veil Fall is 620 feet tall. How would Haley write 620 in expanded form? Now, you guys reviewed this on Friday after you'd taken the test. You had that second paper to do. You remembered expanded form. You're going to say 620 and you're going to write it out in its parts. So we're going to start with the first number, the 6. What is the 6? What is the 6? 600. So you need to write 600 plus, what's the 2? That's the next number. 20 plus 20 plus 0. That is how you get the 620. They have 620 equals. They already had 620 equals, and you're going to say 600 plus 20 plus 0. And you do need to put the 0 because there is 0 in the ones column. Alright, now we're going to look at the next thing. The next thing, one of the things we're going to be learning is to round. We're going to learn how to round to the nearest 10, how to round to the nearest 100, and how to round to the nearest 1,000. It says Ella took Haley and Horatio to visit 4 tall rock formations. About how tall is each landmark? So in other words, they want us to round. So the first one is El Capitan. El Capitan is 3,593. So we're going to round it to the nearest 1,000. Now, how many of you remember learning this last year? All right, for those of you that don't really remember, you're going to look at the hundreds column. All right? And if you're looking at a number line, when you look at the number line, 0 to 4 is closer to the former number, right? Let me get this where my camera can see it. So 0 to 4 is closer to this end. Well, let's look from 10. Let's do it from 10 to 20. All right, so 11 to 14 would be closer to the 10, and 15 to 19 would be closer to the 20. So if you're talking 1, 2, 3, and 4, you're going to go back to the former 10. If you're talking 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9, you're going to go up to the next 10. Okay? And it's the same thing with the hundreds, and it's the same thing with the thousands. 1, 2, 3, and 4 are going to go back to the smaller. 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 are going to go up to the next. All right? So let's count by 10. So that if we were rounding to the nearest 10, what would we be rounding to? If we were rounding to the nearest 10, we would round to the nearest 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, or 100. If we were rounding to the nearest 100, let's count by hundreds until we get to 1,000. If we were counting to the nearest rounding to the nearest hundreds, we'd say 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600, 700, 800, or 900. And for thousands, if we were rounding to the nearest thousands, 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000, 6,000, 7,000, 8,000, 9,000, or 10,000. That's where we'll stop. All right, so this one is 3,009. What is it again? 3,593. So since we're rounding to the nearest 1,000, we're going to look at the hundreds column. What's in your hundreds column? 3,593. The 5 says go higher. So the 3,000 would round up to 4,000. So you are going to write 4,000. Okay? You're going to write 4,000 and go ahead and put feet. Okay, make your comma a little bit tinier and not so. See their comma? Make sure. Guys, don't make your commas so big.
You have to wait the whole
You do need to write feet. FT, so you would put feet. 4,000. They had FT for this, so you're going to put FT period. You're going to write it as a number, so I don't know what you mean by writing the whole word. Alright, the next one is half dome, and it is 4,000 4,733 feet. So half dome is 4,733 feet. So you look at the hundreds column, what do you see? 7. Does 7 say stay the same or go higher? Go higher. So this 4,000 needs to become 5,000. So you're going to write 5,000. Make sure when you're doing 5,000 that you have 3 zeros. 5, comma, 0, 0, 0. 3 zeros. Don't forget your comma. 3,068. All right, the next one is Sentinel, and it is 3,068 feet. All right, so what's in our hundreds column? 0. What does 0 say? Stay the same or go higher? Don't say go lower. Never say go lower. You either say stay the same, because if you say go lower, then some people mistakenly think we have to go down to 2. So we don't want to say go lower. We're going to say stay the same. We'll stay at 3,000 or we'll go higher to the next 1,000. But 0 says stay the same, so you're going to put 3,000 feet. And you can just abbreviate feet. FT, just like they did. All right, and then the last one is Three Brothers, which is 3,830. So 3,830 feet. And where are we going to look? In the hundreds. The hundreds bosses the thousands around. The hundreds is a 8. What does 8 tell us to do? Stay the same, go higher.
Go higher.
Go higher. So we're going to go from 3,000 to 4,000. Notice 2 of these rounded to the same thing. The first one, which was El Capitan, and the last one, Three Brothers. Both El Capitan and Three Brothers rounded to 4,000 feet, which means that the one that rounded to 3,000, Sentinel, is the smallest, and this one is the biggest. Which one was that?
Half dome.
Half dome. Half dome was the biggest. All right, now we're going to take these numbers and you need to put them in order from the least to the greatest. So they give you 4 lines. And you're not going to take these rounded numbers. You're going to take their actual numbers and put them in order. All right, so we're going to start. Which 1,000 is the smallest? 3,000. But we have 2 3,000. So then we have to look at the hundreds. Which hundreds is the smallest?
0.
0. So we need to do, actually we did have 3 3,000s, didn't we? So we're going to start with 3,000 0 hundreds, and that's the first one you're going to write. 3,068, the one that had 0 hundreds. And do you need to put feet? Maybe don't put feet this time, just put the numbers. Yeah, don't put feet, just put the numbers this time. All right, so we have 2 more 3,000, so which 3,000 goes next? The one with the 500s, because 500s is less, because we're starting with the least and building up to the greatest. Brennan, are you with me? So you don't look like it. All right, so now we're going to do 3,000 what?
593.
593. All right, and the next one is 3,000, not 300, 3,830. And the last one would be the one that has what? Speak up, come on. Everybody. The one with the 4,000. Very good. 4,733. That is the one you'll put last of all. All right, and then they asked you which one was the tallest. Which rock formation was the tallest? Jonathan? Half dome. And notice how they capitalize half and they capitalize dome, because that's 2 different words, and that is its particular name. So you do need to capitalize half, and you need to capitalize dome. And by the way, guys, since the word half dome is right there for you to copy, if you spelled it wrong on a test and something was right there to copy, I would count a point. Some of you lost a point on your math test because you didn't write the word pieces correctly. And it said how many pieces, and it was right there to copy the word pieces, and you spelled it wrong, I took off a point, because it was right there for you to copy that word. Alright, and then we have one more thing to fill in, which has to do with what biblical truth did we learn when we were learning this map. It says map shows the world is designed. Things that are designed are things that are, what did they say about the bird songs? That they are what? Who can remember? Do I need to go back and read the story again? Page? It is true that they were created, but what did it say? It says everything points to the fact that the world is designed. God made the world just as He planned it to be. So things that are designed are things that are, somebody said it, say it louder. Planned, very good. So that very last blank you need to fill in is the word plan. Make sure you put two N's, because if you don't put two N's, you're not making the word planned, you're making the word planed, which is a word. Jonathan, did you write plan where you should have written plan? You don't look like you're paying attention to me. Planned, P-L-A-N-N-E-D. And with that, we need to move on to our second paper, okay? Second paper is page 19 and 20, and we are going to focus on place value today, and also focus on even and odd numbers. So, please just set that paper to the side. Do not do anything with it, just set it to the side. You should be done with that now, and all eyes up here. All eyes up here, please. Jonathan, I said all eyes up here, not work on your paper on your own. Alright, so we are learning place value. We're going to start with the fact that 10 ones is the same thing as 1 10. In other words, if I give you 10 pennies and you give me 1 dime, isn't that the same thing?
Yes.
Alright, so 10 ones is the same thing as 1 10. And 10 tens is the same thing as 100. So we're going to call these ones, we're going to call these 10 sticks, and we're going to call these squares like this hundreds. Okay, those are 100 boxes. So if I counted these out, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and I counted each one of these little individual boxes, there would be 10. If I count these by tens, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, that is the same thing. These are 10 sticks tightly put together to form a box. Does everybody see that? Does everybody say it with me? 10 ones equals 1 10. 10 tens equals 100. And that's what you need to write right there at the very beginning. You need to put a 10 in front of that word tens. Oh, they have it already. Never mind. But you do need to put a 1. 10 tens equals 1 10. 10 ones, excuse me, I'm saying it backwards. 10 ones equals 1 10. And then right beside it, 10 tens equals 100. Now all you're writing is a 1. You don't write the 100, because otherwise it's going to say 100, 100. You just put a 1. All right, now we're going to look at that first number, and they show 3 of these. So if they're showing 3 of these, how much is that?
300.
300. So put 300 on that first line, just 300. We're going to do it in an expanded form. So put 300, and then they show 2 of these. So what is 2 of the tens? 20. So you're going to put a 20. 2 tens is 20. And then you need to count the little red ones. How many little red ones do you see? 4. So in the ones, you're going to put a 4. And then you put it all together. They did it for you already. That was 324. See at the end of the row, after you put 300 plus 20 plus 4, that's called expanded form. Now for the next one, they don't have a picture of it, but they want you to take 720 and put it in expanded form. So the 7 is worth 700, so put 700. The 2 is worth 20, so put a 20. Eric, you with me? The 2 is worth 20, so put a 20. And the 0 is worth 0, so put a 0. That is the expanded form of 720. By the way, the 720 that you see at the beginning is called standard form. That is the normal way to write a number, right? Okay? Let's go on to number 5. Number 5 is 153. The 1 is worth 100. Say 100. Don't just say 100. So write 100. The 5 is worth 50. So put 50. And the 3 is worth 3. Because the 1 is in the hundreds column, the 5 is in the tens column, and the 3 is in the ones column. All right, the next one they put it at the end, but you're still going to do the same thing. All right, let me show you because I have people that get confused on this and they think they have to do it backwards. All right, am I going to have room? Let's put it right here. We have blank. Is that how we have it? Yeah. Blank plus blank plus blank equals 468. 68. So we're going to start writing here. We're not going to go backwards. We're not going to put the 4 here. We're going to put the 4 here still. Okay? In the front. So the 4 is worth 100. So in this first blank you put the 400. This one's running out of ink, so let me grab a different one. Alright, and the 6 is worth
60.
So in this middle one, you're going to put 60, and the 8 is worth 8. So in the end, you put 8. You do not write it going backwards. Does everybody understand that?
Yeah.
And if I check your paper and find out you did that, then I'm going to know you weren't really paying attention to me. Because I wrote that one on the board for you. Alright, the last one, they did it the same way again, but again, you're still going to start here for the hundreds. It is 206, so the 2 is worth 200. And then in the tens column, you're going to put a 0 because there are no tens. So in the tens column, put a 0, and then for the ones column, you're going to put a 6. So 200 plus 0 plus 6. All right, now we're going to do one more and one less. And I'm running out of room on my board. I could put some of them here, but I'm not going to do the one more and one less. You guys should know that. Okay, well, we'll talk it through, but I'm not going to show it on the board. I will show the next one on the board when we get to it. Okay, so let's just start with the first one, 331. What comes before 331?
330.
So in front of the 331, you're going to write 330. That's one less. You take 1 away from 331, you have 330. And then add 1 to 331, and you have, just say it, everybody, 332. Thank you. So put 332 in the column where it says one more. All right, now let's do 647. 1 less than 647 would be
646.
646. Jonathan, I hope you're with me and not working ahead of me, but it looks like you're working ahead of me. So why don't you come stand right here until you have gotten to the place where you need to be with me again. And just look at the board, right there. Because I'm tired of you working ahead of me when you need to be working with me, and sometimes you're not correct. I need you to be with me. Again, it's important. 646. And what would be one more be?
648.
648. So we have 646, 647 was the original number, and 648. All right, now these are the ones I'm going to show you. So the middle one is 184. And we have to go 10 more and 10 less. So if we're going 10 more and 10 less, we're going to look at the tens column. It doesn't matter what's in the ones column. It doesn't matter what's in the hundreds column. We're only worried about the tens column because we're doing 10 more and 10 less. So what is less than 8? 7. So in front, we're gonna go 174. We're changing the 8 because we're doing 10 more and 10 less. Did you do it already? Wake it up. This is at number 9, where we're doing 10 less and 10 more. All right, and then what is more than the 8?
It's 195.
Okay, to answer my question, I only asked what's more than 8. One more than 8. 9. So 10 more than 8 would be 9. So we're going to change this to 190 what? 4. Sounded like you said 195. You're not changing the 4 because you're not changing the 1 column. All right, and then we have 494. Now this one's a little bit tricky. Not 10 less is not tricky. Okay? So we have 9. Oh, that's what's the answer. What's less than the 9? 8. So you're going to keep the hundreds. The 9 becomes an 8, and you're going to keep the ones. But we get a little bit tricky when we go up because what comes after 9? 10. So we're going to have to rename. We would keep the 4 and the 1s. The 9 becomes a 10, but we have to rename that 1 to this 4. So this 4 becomes a 5. Guys, can I show you a secret? If you cover up, Jonathan, please pay attention now. If you cover up the 1s column, you see 48. Cover up the 1s column, you see 49. Cover up the 1s column, you see 50. So you know you did the right thing. 48, 49, 50. Yes, I did the right thing. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
All right. Now let's go on to the 100 less, 100 more. The first one we're going to do is 586. Is that what it says? Yes. So this time we are changing the hundreds column. So what's less than the 5 in the hundreds? Where are you guys? I don't hear anybody.
500.
What's less than the 500?
400.
Thank you. 400. So we're going to write 486. And what's 100 more than the 500?
600.
Yeah, 686. All right, and the last one on this page is 335. So what is 100 less? Take the 300 or less.
200.
235. And 100 more.
405.
435. All right, now let's talk about even and odd. Where do I need to look to know if a number is even or odd? Adam?
And the 1.
Yes, you only look at the ones. It does not matter what's in the hundreds. Eric, are you listening?
Yes.
It does not matter what's in the tens. You only look at the ones column. And what needs to be in the ones column for it to be even? Everybody. 0, 2, 4, 6, 8. What needs to be in the ones column if it's odd? 1, 3, 5, 7, or 9. All right, so those numbers in the green box, you're going to put them under even, or you're going to put them under odd, and then you'll go ahead and work on the back, and